Okay, now we begin on the military side of the gallery. We start with the P-47 Thunderbolt, the P-29. This is not a common P-29. This is none other than the famous or infamous, depending on who you ask, the B-29 Enola Gay. The exact same airplane that dropped one of the atomic bombs. This one is one of my favorite aircraft of all time, the P-38 Lightning.
And in fact, it did 424 miles an hour. It was very, very successful.
Let's listen to
more
the
in the Pacific than in the Atlantic theaters. The European theater was a lot colder, and they had problems getting heat into the cockpit. That was also an issue later on when they were deployed to the Pacific, but less of a big issue. It was eventually overcome, and this became the most used aircraft by American aces during the Second World War. Very, very powerful plane. All the armament shooting straight out the nose. They didn't have to worry about the bullets coming together from the wings. You just aim the plane and you're aiming your guns. This is the J version. The later version has 4 machine guns, 50 caliber and 120 millimeter cannon in the middle. So you had a lot of firepower coming out of that. For those that are interested, I just happen to have, sheer coincidence, a 50 caliber bullet in my pocket. That's a 50 caliber bullet. Non-explosive, what it does is a great deal of damage to humans, but also to material, the structure. But a cannon shell, I happen to have a 20 millimeter cannon shell, coincidence again. That's a 20 millimeter cannon shell. That's explosive. So if that's set properly and goes off inside an airplane, end of airplane, so it's really a different kind of weapon. It cannot be fired as quickly because it's big, nor can an airplane carry as many of them because it's heavy. But it does have that kind of power. The Americans always favored machine guns. The Europeans always went for the cannons. I guess you have to figure out who won the war and figure out which one worked better. If any of you are any of you American automobile enthusiasts? No. Another piece of trivia gone.
Were these engines on one throttle?
No, 2 throttles.
The Hawker Hurricane, Sidney Camp's most famous design. Arguably one of the planes that won the Battle of Britain. Sikorsky XL-4 helicopter, tiny tin rocket. One of the earliest night fighter, the Northrop P-61 Black Widow. Black Widow is the first U.S. aircraft that's designed to destroy enemy aircraft at night in bad weather. Carries one of the earliest form, the most primitive form of radar. Northrop flying wing. And this is the Japanese night fighter. The Allied code name is Irving. It's a Nakajima Gecko. See the 4 antenna? Those are Japanese earlier version of radar. The suicide bomb. The Seiran sailplane. And the Kawasaki Shiden George. P-47 Thunderbolt. It's probably one of the biggest fighter aircraft World War II, mounting the biggest engine, 2,000 horsepower radial. Here it's the butcher bird of Germany, the Focke-Wulf FW-190. It's outfitted as a fighter bomber carrying 5 bombs, and the Arado Blitz jet bomber, and the Dornier push-pull aircraft that never really made it into service. Another look at the suicide bomb. Piper Cup observation aircraft. There's a Blackbird, Boeing pea shooter. The German Messerschmitt Comet. We're entering the space hangar right now. This is where they keep the space shuttle Enterprise and all other various space articles up on the roof.
Look at that, and that looks so safe, relatively speaking. Yeah.
The Apollo 11 module, Gemini, all the Gemini modules over there up above are the various small satellites. Here it is, the Space Shuttle Enterprise. It's kind of travesty that the state of Texas didn't get any of the space shuttle. I suspect that the decision for that is political in nature, but I digress. The Styx missile, which one of these missiles sank the Israeli destroyer Eilat in 1973, I believe. The Pegasus orbital launcher, the air-launched cruise missile, and that's the blue big one is the Regulus, the earliest form of cruise missile, and then behind it, mounted vertically, is the Nike Ajax. The ASAT, or anti-satellite missile. The 1960 vintage Talos surface-to-air missile. It's huge. This is the ancestor of the Phoenix missile. And up above are the various drones and air-launched target. The Standard missile. The Suprop, which is an anti-submarine weapon, but it's the warhead is nuclear. And then there's a bunch of various rocket engines. The next exhibit that we're going to go to is the Cold War and the jet fighter exhibit. Udvar-Hazy, Smithsonian, Virginia.